Just wanted to share with you this Sunday morning. I've returned to my outside living practice of a DHUTANGA monk with this beautiful surroundings. I have some prickly bushes as my walls and boundaries. Still a little damp, so I have a this what you call tarpaulin plastic mat thing, which I can lay on comfortably, and it's also great for, you fold in to a quarter, and it's a mat for this rather stony ground for sitting meditation. I'll turn the camera around and hopefully soon we will see the sun rising, although it's rather hazy, so maybe not. Let's have a look. This is what we call dawn. In monks' terms, dawn is when you can see the lines of your palm in just the light, natural light. As soon as the, not moonlight, the light of the pre-rising sun. So as soon as you see the lines in your palm, unaided, you can assume it is dawn, which is about 20 minutes, half an hour before sunrise. The sun will rise somewhere just over there, towards the middle of the picture, over that hill. But as you can see, it's very hazy, so I don't think that's going to be a great view this morning. But you can see, if I just slowly go around, this is my surroundings. The center of the picture there is the sea. Again, hazy, so you can't see. Tonight it's sun. The sun will rise somewhere beyond those trees. Sorry, sun will set beyond those trees. And you should be able to see the sea then. The moon is still there, a slither, and I've had eagles, big eagles. Oh, there they are over there. They circle around and around. I'm always concerned that maybe they might see your eyes and take a fancy to that delicious snack, swoop down and take an eye. But as yet this hasn't happened, so I'm assuming that humans are okay, not tasty. So I'm afraid the sunrise may not be so pretty. We'll see. And even from up here, India's not a quiet place. I can hear the sounds of temple music and goings on. That started way before dawn, I think about 5 o'clock. But it's very faint. However, this isn't the purpose. This isn't why I've come up to the top of this mountain. It's not really a mountain, but I call it that. You know, practice of meditation isn't about running away. It's not about trying to seclude ourselves from our senses. It's not sensory deprivation. It's actually about awareness of what we're seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and our thoughts, thinking. This is very important to understand. Of course, when we first practice meditation, it's nice to go to a meditation center where you can have, to some extent, sensory deprivation, and it gives you the chance to have the opportunity to view the goings-on of your mind, the thoughts arising, passing away, and bringing your awareness, your attention to the breath. This is the practice, of course. But for this practice to become useful, for us to develop our minds, our mental capacities, and the powers of samadhi, focusing, one-pointedness, rather than concentration, which implies an effort involved, a straining, but more a relaxed. Let your mind focus on one thing. This, in order to practice this, one must be able to establish this mindfulness in a busy environment also, a noisy environment, and then still be able to bring your attention, your awareness to the breath. Now this is going to come in useful, of course, when you're suffering in a circumstance where you don't want to be, external conditions, or when you have internal conditions arising, pain, for instance. If you can keep your meditation, your meditation object in mind, your attention, your awareness, your conscious awareness, focused, not too firmly, just softly, focused though, one-pointedness on your meditation object, then you can really take the emphasis off whatever it is that's causing your suffering. Sometimes it is difficult to do that, and one would then take the focus and position it, point it to the problem itself. Find the pain, focus on the pain, and then notice when the pain isn't there. And if it's a noisy environment, hear the sounds, and then notice the silence between the sounds. When you're in a compact or claustrophobic or confined environment, like on a busy bus, notice the space, because there is always space. If there isn't space, much space around us, we have space within us. So this is the silence between the sounds, the space between the objects and the crowds, space in the crowds. And it's this silence and this space that we're looking for. So we don't have to run to the top of the mountain to be looking for this silence and this space. Now, as part of my DHUTANGA monks practice, so really some of the more the ascetic practice that the Buddha allowed a Theravada Buddhist monk to practice, there are 13 DHUTANGA practices, one of which is living outside in the open air, or under a tree or in a cave or something like that. Now the purpose of this is to become free, like a bird, and not be dependent on four walls and all of that which goes with living in a house. But it also brings you really into the reality of life, your vulnerability. You're exposed to some element of fear and worry, maybe, and you can see how this manifests itself both in your mind and physically throughout the evening, throughout the night and in the early hours. Many noises come along. You can't go anywhere, it's very dark, and it's bringing you back to the real nature of our existence, the real nature of anicca, dukkha and anatta. And this is the reason I come up here. And we'll be spending many more nights now on the top of this hill. Now the last of the rain hopefully has finished. It is a bit drier. I do have this plastic mat here. It's a tarp thing I managed to pick up somewhere that can do a multitude of things. It's for sitting on these very spiky volcanic rocks that I'm on. Makes it less uncomfortable, but more concerning is that you don't want to damage your robes. If you make any holes or damage in your robes with these prickly thorns, we have a rule that we must repair those holes before dawn. Anything larger than a matchstick in diameter has to be sewn and repaired before dawn. So I have my sewing kit with me, but I don't want to be sewing as it's getting dark at night. It could be difficult. And that's for a practical point of view. You know, we have the phrase in English, a stitch in time saves 9. And we have to protect our robes. They're our only garment, our only items of clothing are these 3 robes: the lower robe, upper robe and outer robe. So that's my talking done for the morning. I have done it as much for my benefit as yours. It's nice to wake up and say hi, good morning, and speak to someone, even if it is only your phone, and with little response. So I'm going to turn the camera around now for one last view. It should be sunrise time, but at the moment I'm not seeing anything other than haze and some quite nice light. And it's warmed up. Look, I've unwrapped a little. It's not cold. There is a cool breeze, but the breeze is good. It means there are no small flying, biting insects. So I will bring you more of these talks from up here. It's actually probably going to be easier up here to make videos. There's less interruption, but they will have to be made early morning and evening, because during the day it is rather too hot up here. I have got some shady spots down below in the forest, which I'll just show you with the camera as I turn it around now. So my immediate surroundings are there. The sun rises over there, that's the east, and it sets behind those trees, that's the west. So the rest is self-explanatory. Oh yes, the trees. Down there is my route to this place, through this forest. I can't go too far because I'll fall down this hill. It's very steep. It doesn't show how steep it is on the picture, I don't think. But it's covered in these little balls. I've mentioned them before, balls of volcanic rock, which are like marbles. And if you're not very careful, you can slip and you can slide all the way down, and I've done that many times, and it really does hurt and grazes all your back and arms. And in the early hours when you're a little cold and sensitive, that's not a good thing at all, and it kind of spoils your day. But it certainly does bring your awareness, your mindfulness into play. You're having to be very cautious about how you tread. So no sun is rising yet. The dogs I can hear in the background. I don't know whether you can, probably not. I think this mic's quite good at masking surrounding sounds, but I can hear those howling. So I'm glad I'm not down there in the village. This is a very nice place to be, and a very nice place for meditation. Namo Buddhaya. I think that's as good as we get with the sunrise this morning. But as you see, it's just coming across over the clouds, haze. Maybe it will burn its way through this haziness and soon bathe me in warmth, which is going to be most welcome now. Not that it's cold, but it'd certainly be nice to just see the sun before I go down to get some coffee, which is now very much something in my mind. A hindrance, if you like, the hindrance of sensual desire, the desire for that morning coffee. Good morning, sunshine. I don't think this camera shows that very well. It's a beautiful red, dark orange sun rising slowly but visibly, moving above this line of hilltops, mountains, and just demonstrating how this beautiful planet we're sitting on is spinning without our perception, but at 1,000 miles an hour we are going, where I'm sitting, forwards, as if on a big ball, and we're spinning at that speed. And as we spin towards the sun, we kind of go under it. It could be ahead, that'll be noon, by which time I would have to have eaten. We continue to spin, and it apparently will be behind me to drop below the western horizon this evening. And that is our day. The monk's day begins at dawn and ends the following dawn. We have 3 watches of the night: 6 till 10, 10 till 2, 2 till 6, and we sleep 10 till 2, meditate 2 till 6, well, 2 till 3, 4, then we get ready to go on alms round just after dawn. That's not what I do here. I have to go much later. And the rest of the day is a case of finding some shade. I'll just try and zoom in. This is not looking so clear on my screen what I can see. Maybe it'll come out better. Namo Buddhaya.